Eyup cock. I'm not going to put my hands in a certain direction in case it gets screenshotted. Welcome back to the channel. We're not doing League One or Championship editions this weekend because there's only an odd game that's on because it's FA Cup weekend instead. So we're going to predict that instead. The world's oldest and best cup competition that they are trying their hardest to ruin. But that will not get in the way of this vid. Oh, I love FA Cup, me. I'd love it even more if we were actually in there, but I love this. Man United, Leicester first. So, that's on Friday night. That should be a good game, actually, to be fair. Man United and Leicester. And Man United have had the number recently. Like, last 4 times they've played, Man United have won all of them. Obviously, since they got relegated and come back up, they've played each other twice. They played each other in EFL Cup. Man United won 5-2. And then in Prem earlier in season, Man United won 3-0. And this Man United team stinks. So, Leicester, obviously, they won the FA Cup game to get to this stage, and they bet Tottenham away. But other than that, it's, let me just work this out, it's 8 losses in 10 games and 2 wins against QPR and Tottenham away. Even though Man United are honking shit, and they've not really lit world on fire with transfers either in January, which you'd expect them to do normally. They've obviously loaned Rashford out. Maybe they're getting rid of like some sort of attitude problems that they've got in there, bad training, shit like that. Definitely expect Man United to win. Obviously, Man United have just lost against Palace in league as well. And you'd expect them to maybe rotate it a little bit, but at the same time, this is their only chance for a trophy. So, I think they could still put a very strong side out, and Leicester are crap. I'm definitely going to Man United win. I can see them getting a couple of goals as well, to be fair, but I don't think Leicester will score. Probably, I'll go with like a 3-1 Man United win. I think it'd be quite comfy. And then we're straight into Saturday with Leeds Millwall. That'd be tasty if there weren't 1,000 Yorkshire coppers there. Millwall have been really good recently. 3 wins on bounce against QPR, Portsmouth and Luton. But Leeds, even if they put the second string team out here, you would still expect them to win. The depth that they've got is crazy. They've not lost anybody in January. Obviously, Millwall spent a lot of money as well, so they might chuck them straight into someone like this to get them up to speed. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a free hit. None of these sides are going to win cup anyway, so it's just who cares, effectively. But I could see them chucking their expensive new boys straight in. I could see them scoring Millwall. I really could. And I wouldn't be that surprised if they get a draw and take it to extra time, but I would still think the Leeds will win regardless. They've just won 7-0 at league at home to Cardiff, so the last 4 results, 7-0, 2-0, 3-0, 1-0 at home. But I do think Millwall score. I think this will be closer than the Man United one against Leicester, even though both teams are in the same league again. I will say 2-1 to Leeds. I want Millwall to win. Mill. But I think Leeds will win. Leyton, Orient, Man City. Well, that's sad, innit? Leyton, Orient, really good form. I think they could have given a lot of championship teams a game here with form that they're currently on, even though they lost to Stockport. But this is Man City. And even though it's the worst Man City team in probably like 6-7 years in terms of like the performances and the team in general, they just don't look up to it at all. They look tired. I think they're looking like, you know, Bielsa when he come to the end of his time even at Leeds and all players looked knackered and stuff like that. Man City, it is a mixture of like players looking tired, but I think they're all knocking on a bit, aren't they? Especially at middle at Park. But this is Leyton Orient away and not Arsenal away. So I'm definitely going for a Man City win. Probably 2-0. I'll go like 3-0 Man City. Ipswich could be a game though. That could be a game. Straight off bat though, Ipswich, even though they're in like really bad form, they went and like annihilated Bristol Rovers in that gaming cup to get to this stage. So I'm not stupid to the fact that even though Ipswich are in really bad form, that they're just going to go and lose to whoever they're playing, because it don't work like that, does it? Coventry have won 5 wins on bounce though. They've got a very, very good squad. I think this could be quite close, you know. I don't think it'll be like a walk in park for Ipswich like people probably would think. Obviously, they got to the semi-final last year in all Coventry. They're no mugs. They've got a good side, good manager in Lampard. I stand by that. But you think with the team that Ipswich have got and McKenna, you'd think they're going to go full strength Ipswich here. I don't think they'll rotate that much because they could fancy themselves getting to like a quarters or something. I will go with an Ipswich win, but marginal. Or will I? I might go draw, but you can't even go draw for replay, can you? This competition's ruined. I'm going to go in Ipswich win. Potentially an extra time, but 2-1. Everton Bournemouth. This is quite a boring one, isn't it? Any all same league ties bore me. But Everton Bournemouth. I mean, Everton are on flames recently, aren't they? They're actually scoring goals, which is something that I never thought I'd say about them. Bournemouth are a really, really good team. A lot of exciting games. They did just lose they lost 2-0 to Liverpool at home, didn't they? But that's Liverpool and Everton. But to be fair, I fancy Everton. I do. With home aspect as well. But I feel like Bournemouth have got a decent record against these as well recently. Oh my god, yeah, they have. They literally never draw these two sides, but Bournemouth have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the last 9 games that these two have played. But the 2 Everton wins came at their place. So they've got a decent record at Everton, but I do fancy Everton a little bit. Again, Moyes is no pushover, is it? He's not going to rotate his team. He'll fancy him sending this. 2-0, maybe? 2-0 Everton. Why not? 2-0 Everton. I think that could buy me an ass, that one. Preston, Wycombe. Now, this could be a team that rotates the squad around. And I'm talking about Wycombe here and not Preston. They were to bet Portsmouth 2-0 in game before this to get to this leg. But Wycombe rotated the team massively. Like, they didn't have probably 8 of the starting 11 and they still won 2-0. I do actually fancy Wycombe here. I think they might put a couple of the better players in now. Like, they might... Cornet might play, do you know what I mean? I think they could go for it a little bit more just based on you win this, you could get a humongous tie away, loads of brass. But will it be playing it back of the mind a little bit that they're obviously second? They've got a busy schedule coming up still. They've still got games in hand on a few teams in league, so they're going to have to play catch up a lot with other promotion rivals in League One. I would have fancied draw, but I might go like 1-1 normal time and then 2-1 Wycombe in extra time. I'm going Wycombe win. I like this, you know. I really like FA Cup. It's sick. Southampton, Burnley next. Southampton have loaned Adam Armstrong to West Brom, which is crazy. And Burnley are just the most boring, disgusting side you've ever seen in your life. But at the same time, they've kept 5 clean sheets in a row. They've conceded 1 goal in 10 games. But Southampton are quite good for a goal normally. And they're at home. Tough this. Very low scoring game in it, definitely. You're going like 1-0, 1-1 maybe. I want to go... You know what? We'll go for penalties. 1-1 penalties, Southampton on pens. We'll go with that. Stoke and Cardiff's boring in it. And Cardiff have just lost 7-0 to Leeds, so the confidence is going to be shot. I'm going to go for Stoke win 2-1. Wigan, Fulham. I can't see Wigan scoring, I'm not going to lie to you. Fulham... I mean, they do concede odd goal, don't they? But they've not got worst defensive record in universe. It's not like they've got Southampton coming to town, is it? And I could see them, again, even their young uns, Fulham, you'd think could still win this game. But I don't think they'll put loads past them. Wigan defensively are quite good. Sam Tickle in net. If he starts, that is. I'll go here 2-0 Fulham. Still think it'll be quite comfy for him. 2-0 Fulham. Birmingham, Newcastle. This is a game at tie. This is a rate game. I'm so glad this is on telly because if it wouldn't have been, I'd have been sad. Really, really good game, this. Again, I don't think Newcastle will rotate the team just based on what Birmingham can do to you. This could easily be the upset of the round, easily, this, if Birmingham are on it. Newcastle, obviously, a very, very, very good team. But I could see them, like, maybe resting Isaac. I still think they'll play, like, your Gordons and stuff like that, and maybe Murphy, players like that. But I think they'll rest Isaac. I think both teams will score. And Birmingham, even if they rotate the team, it's still like a championship side, the second team that they can put out. Another one that I think could be low scoring, though. Like 2-1 max. I'm fairly tempted to say Birmingham. Oh, it's a tough one, this. I quite want Birmingham to win just because they're underdog. I'm doing it. 1-1 Pens Birmingham. Go on, boys. Brighton Chelsea's another interesting one because Chelsea really have not been playing good for quite a while, have they? Obviously, after a really, really good start to the season, they've sort of been playing like shit last, like, 10-ish games. The keeper situation is horrendous anyway. But Brighton have just lost 7-0 to Nottingham Forest. So is that going to play on the mind a bit? Probably. But also the depth that Brighton have got. I know we're talking about Chelsea that they're playing against. But Brighton's depth is really, really good. They took 250 million quid at it this summer. They've got so many different wingers. I couldn't even tell you all the players. I couldn't even tell you the starting 11 half at times, Brighton's. And there's always that little bit of, like, spice, I think, from a Brighton point of view in this game, that Chelsea just take everything that they've ever had. Any half-decent thing that Brighton have got, Chelsea will just come and take it. So I think Brighton will be up for it a little bit more than Chelsea will. Chelsea definitely going to rotate, but again, the squad depth is out of this world. I'm fancying both teams to score. Fancying Brighton win. Am I fancying Brighton? You know when I say things and I need to think about it? They bet Norwich 4-0 away in overtime, but then they lose 7-0 to Forest. Chelsea scraped past West Ham on Monday night. They lost to Man City. They're drawn to Bournemouth. They obviously slapped Morecambe to get here. Tough. It is tough, this. I'll go 2-1 to Chelsea. Yeah. Tough, that. Blackburn Wolves, that's another really good tie, to be fair. This is the top 6 championship side against, apart from the newly promoted sides, the worst team in Premier League by a mile this year in Wolves. But obviously they bet Villa 2-0 last game. They're going to have a lot of confidence, aren't they? Again, I feel like with the manager that Wolves have got, do they know to rotate teams in this cup and the importance of it, or do they just go with full strength still? I always think it takes them a couple of goes really to figure it out. But Blackburn's form is terrible. They bet Preston, but then they lost overnight to QPR. They lost 2-1 there. That looked a scrappy game as well. They're losing a lot of games recently, a lot of 2-1s, not a lot of high-scoring games. Could see it being the same thing here. I do fancy Wolves. I'm just trying to like envision it. I could definitely see watching it on telly, the Wolves fans celebrating on left hand side on telly. I can just see it happening. It'll be sold out away indefinitely, and it'll be 2-1 to Wolves. That's what I'll go with. Visions. Plymouth Liverpool. Okay. I mean, Plymouth actually won last game against West Brom. They got a draw against Sunderland. They lost 5-0 against Burnley. I was going to say maybe they're better against better sides then, but then I remembered the Burnley score. But Liverpool, as good as they are, they bet Accrington Stanley 4-0. They bet Ipswich 4-1. Against weaker sides, they're not going to put in like 5 or 6 past. And I feel like people will instinctively just say, this is going to be a slaughterfest. This Liverpool are going to kill him. Stop, he's already dead. I don't think it'll be massive scoring. Liverpool are obviously going to win, but I don't think it'll be a humongous scoring game like a 5-6er. So it'd be maybe 2 or 3-0. You can't give Plymouth a goal here, surely. Can you? Can you give Plymouth a goal? Can you give Plymouth a shot? It depends on the strength of Liverpool goal. If they put like Van Dijk on that up pitch, which I don't think they will, then Plymouth won't get a sniff all game. They go for like, they're playing young uns like they did against PSV, for example, which I'd say is more likely than playing Van Dijk. Plymouth might get a chance. It all just depends on what the strength is Liverpool go for. If we're just looking at scores, aren't we? It's like 3. I'm giving Liverpool 3 goals. Do I fancy Plymouth for 1? Why not? I had to pity. We'll give Plymouth a goal, 3-1. Villa Tottenham. This is boring, man. This is just shit. You think Villa are going to rotate? Have Tottenham even got any fit players to rotate? I doubt it. I would expect him to, to massively change this. I would expect kids to come out. Because, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Tottenham might win a trophy this year. If they do, it is going to be Carabao. It won't be this as well. They've got so many games on 24/7. They've still got Europa League. They've got Mickey Mouse Cup semi-final to come up. They've got League. They've got this as well. If he puts a decent team out here, Ange, he's asking for it. He's literally asking for more injuries. Your players are playing non-stop. There is no way you can put a full-strength team out here or even an half-strength team out. If I were manager of Tottenham for this game, I would send all kids out, like Sheffield United did against Cardiff, and focus on your other competitions that you're in. You cannot win everything. So if he does do that, I'm expecting a Villa win. And a fairly comfortable one. 2-0. We'll go 2-0 Villa just based on the fact that Tottenham should be putting kids out in this game. Then we've got Monday night, Donny versus Palace. Oh, that could be harder than people think. That Palace are obviously on a really, really, really good run. They've won 4 out of the last 5 games. They've only lost to Brentford in the last 8. They've been on a really, really good run of form. But I think form stands for quite a lot in terms of like your confidence and stuff like that, especially in cup ties like this. When your opposition are 3 leagues above you, probably like 60 places above you in grand scheme of things with table. Are Palace going to come here and just think it's going to be a walkover, even if they rotate the team about, which you'd expect him to do? I don't know if SA can play because of the Millwall thing. You'd have thought he'd be cup tied if he'd played for Millwall. Donny obviously bet Hull away, or a team that are much better than him in other round to get to this. Palace only scraped past Stockport 1-0. I could see this being an extra time, I'm going to say it, but I do think experience and quality could show. I will go a 1-1 Palace Pens. That is what I will say. I'd like Donny to win that though. And then finally on Tuesday night, this is another one. Now this could be like a 5, 6, 7, 8. I think this could be the biggest scoring game of it all. Exeter versus Forest. Let me just tell you the goals that Exeter have conceded in the last few games. 4 to Stevenage, 6 to Leyton Orient, 3 to Blackpool in the last 3 games. They conceded 4 to Crawley. And Forest have just won 7-0. Even if Forest put kids out, well, not even kids, even if they rotate the team, because they've got a lot of depth as well. People forget that they've bought 100 players in one window. Their bench is nuts. The quality that they've got on show these. I'm definitely going for a Forest win. Obviously, Forest aren't in the business of taking the foot off neck either. They'll not go 2-3-0 up and then, we'll rest them all, we'll bring our kids off. They will keep going and going and going, as we saw against Brighton. So I'm definitely going for a Forest win. To be fair, I don't think Exeter score either, even though they are scoring a lot of goals, really, for a crap side in this division, really, in League One. And with a really poor run of form that they're on, they're still scoring goals more or less every game. But then, when you look at them against a really good side in Birmingham, they didn't have a shot all game. I don't think Exeter will score, so I'm giving them none. I'm going to give Forest 5. We'll go 5-0 Forest. Oh, and that's it. Oh, I enjoyed that. Well, thank you as always for watching, guys. That felt so quick recording that. Wow, that's mad. Like video and subscribe, please, if you did enjoy. There will be a lot of videos coming up on this channel. Thank you as always for watching. Love you all. Kiss. Silly.
I say I'm a man. Yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.